A few years ago, they did have a high, but you get snow. Andrew was bad. When Andrew did, I was living in Palm Beach. So I missed that. But I had family who was in Miami. When we went down there, it was like a disaster. I mean, the streets, I didn't know where it was. It was good. The land. So when I went to Fort Lauderdale, with that heavy lady, like, man, I get out of the way. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, you go to the proper area, they call it. Right. Right, right. Yeah, that's what yeah. When the Lions started and their first stadium was right on the outskirts of Overtown. Those are the areas you describe as the town of Redwood City. And they had been open and they were leaving the arena to get back to 95. But if you missed the orange line and you were free, and you know, these games are free. And Palm Beach, I mean, you end up with
It's the first item. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We should be beginning shortly. I just want to go over the procedure for today's land use public hearing. The Borough President will enter the room. She will open the hearing, and the applicant will take these and share stumps. I was just going over the procedure. Once the hearing begins, the applicant will make a presentation. Only the Borough President and her staff will speak directly to the applicant. If you have any questions or comments, please complete this form and you'll be allowed a 3-minute address from the podium. And we appreciate your information so we can get back to you with the information once the resolution for the event is complete.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Borough Hall, People's House of Queens. Please sign in. All right, everybody signed in? No. Okay, we're going to issue another sign-in sheet. If you would like to get updates from this office, especially when my opinion is rendered, we'll send it to you. So You can also give us your email address, and we'll be happy to keep you updated as well. Okay? Even if you're not speaking. All right? You started? Huh? Okay. We do apologize. Coming into the building is always an issue of timing. I am trying to deal with that issue, but it's apparently a controversial thing. We're a building that houses many things, including courthouse folks, DA's folks, Department of Buildings. We have no doubt the high security is not needed for us, for me. Please start the hearing. You went through all this already?
Item number 1, application BSA number 3015BV, the applicant Shelby LaVille PC, effective community board number 13.
And I failed to introduce myself. My father would say I'm very rude. My name is Melinda Katz, and I'm a dean, so welcome. Sheldon, Mr. LaVille, thank you for coming.
Get to it here today. Sorry, I was a little late. I had proper parking.
Can we get that microphone to look better for him?
So, you have the application, Madam President, and we are here on behalf of a religious institution, Karen Foulis, which has owned property adjacent to the Maimonides Cemetery, or Montefiore Cemetery, in Cambria Heights. Of course, the cemetery has been in existence for over 100 years. It was originally established as a cemetery for a gravesite for Jewish people, and it became a more important site when Rebbe Schneerson was buried there some 20 years ago. The Rebbe was well known throughout the world, not only in the Jewish community. He was visited over the years when he was alive by many people for his advice, for his wisdom. I'll have a little handout. I think I've given it to the community board before. History of Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. And because of his importance to the Hasidic community, it's become an important gravesite. I noticed this week in the newspaper, people invested over $1 million at the Greenwood Cemetery, because there are people who find that there are some cultural important things with cemeteries. Who's buried there, the tombstones, etc. This is especially important to the Lubavitch community. Now, I want to separate us from a prior variance that was granted about 7 or 8 houses down closer to the cemetery. That is a reception center. Also, at one time, I believe there was some, and still, I think the Board of Standards and Appeals allowed them some rooms for transient occupancy. I must let you know that the rooms that are being provided in this school on the 3rd and 4th floor are not transient. And as I'm sure you know, the zoning resolution, and that's not part of the application, in separate instances, the zoning resolution permits residential hotels in residential district. A residential hotel is differentiated from a transit hotel. A residential hotel, the occupancy has to be 30 days or more. So the use here for the synagogue or for the school, with the accessory facilities, a synagogue, a mikveh, and study rooms, are all involved or coincident with the school. And the school is permitted in this district, this R2 district, but we're requesting a variance because the school is larger than what's permitted in this district. There are various objections under the zoning resolution. Some people said, well, it was turned down at the building department. Well, for your information, every application that goes to the Board of Standards and Appeals must be first turned down by the building department. Basically, you're going to a higher authority, which is the Board of Standards and Appeals, to rule on the particular objections. And also, I think I keep hearing about the complaints of this proposal, also based upon what was happening up the street, the reception center. Completely different. It's a school. School with, as any other school, with students who come here and are children of what are known as the shluchim. Shluchim are the emissaries of the Rebbe who go all over the world. Mumbai, where a rabbi and his wife were killed some years ago. In my community, where I live, outside of this city, right next door, I have a yeshiva where over 100 children sleep. People in my community were concerned. We met with the rabbi of that, Rabbi Heller. We spoke to him. We told him our concern, and they've been there maybe 8 months now, and it's not been a problem at all. They try to work with the community in keeping any, and basically the children are in school basically during the day. There, they stay over at night because most of them are older. But this school will cater to a pre-kindergarten group, a kindergarten group, and the older group, the older students who will be staying there. Some of them come from the community, others come from other parts of the state and the city, but basically they're there to learn and to study. And I have to point out that for whatever reason, good or bad, I think good, schools, religious institutions have always been given special consideration when it comes to zoning. Some people say, well, they're not going to pay any taxes. Well, under the Constitution of the state, of the country, religious institutions are exempt from paying taxes. It's not something special that they are asking for, but it's given. The Catholic churches, Catholic school, Protestant, any school is entitled to that exemption. But that's not what we're asking the board to do. We're asking the board for a variance to permit the school to operate here, which they can do, but in a larger building that's allowed. And I point out, and there are many cases, but I would point out that the courts have said repeatedly, forgetting about that the Constitution or that the federal government passed the law which protects all religious institutions, because in some areas, and I don't think it, although it applies to New York, in some areas, religious institutions were forbidden to operate. Catholic churches couldn't open up in areas of the South.
Sheldon,
Yes,
I'm gonna, if I may, I'm gonna take liberties.
Please do.
Can we talk about the land use issues?
Yes,
So this is going into an R2A.
right.
So can you describe the building, the size of the building, the exact uses, in a sort of very bullet point way? That would just be very helpful, I think.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just thought that, I thought that underlying this is this ability of religious institutions, which I know the borough president is aware of, having been.
Yeah, and I think we got that. I think we understand that aspect of it, and I thank you for the description, though.
Right.
But we do need to also figure out the land use issues, because that's really what the BSA will be looking at as well.
Right.
And I appreciate, but we appreciate the background.
The proposed building is 4 stories. which doesn't comply.
Right, that's why I'm going for a variance, yep.
The lot coverage, the requirement is 55%. Our lot coverage proposed is 74%. The floor area ratio, or the floor area ratio permitted is 0.5. 0.5. The floor area ratio here is 2.6. The maximum permitted floor area would be 6,177 feet. The proposed is 32,000 feet. The minimum,
We're gonna have a room that's without comment, all right?
the minimum required front yard is required 15 feet, where 5 feet. I think most of the buildings, and I really should go there and measure, I think most of the buildings may be set back 5 feet, but I'm not positive about that. The side yard requirements are 14 feet, proposed is 6 feet and 9.4 feet. The required rear yard, and remember, it was gonna be part of my presentation, it's obvious that we back up or we front up to a major cemetery, which is right behind us, is 30 feet, and where our backyard, our rear yard is 19.5 feet. The height of the front wall is required to be 25 feet, we're 46 feet. And the sky exposure plane is required to be 1.1, where 0, and no parking spaces are required, and we have no parking spaces. But I just wanted to point out, Madam President, that many of the complaints about traffic and buses, there won't be any buses idling